Hello and welcome to this late afternoon taste challenge. I have two 40% alcohol French brandies. This one is called St-Rémy XO. That's what XO means, extra old. French brandy Francais, product of France, introduced in 1990. Distiller. Thank you, Joe Cobb. You take care too. Let's see what it says. See if it'll focus. Distiller Francais depuis 1886. So since 1886. Well, not this particular one. This came out in 1990. And it looks like a black bottle, doesn't it? But if you look at it under strong light, it's dark brown. Dark brown. Okay. Put this phone on silent. Anytime I try to get on these things, people start lighting up my phone. You know how that goes. Won't call you all day, but all right. So I bought this at where did I buy this? I think at Total Wine and More. Walmart only has the VSOP. And it was about 20 $21, I think. Hold on a second. Forgot about that beer can earlier. Sorry about that. I don't think it was too expensive because I know it wasn't too expensive because I wouldn't have bought it honestly. Um, so there it is, nice amber in the bottle. I mean in the glass, amber, copper, more like copper. Now here is the Montmartre, which actually has a cork, and I know it was $17.99 at Total Wine and More. I didn't have any special dedication to going to Total Wine and More. I was just looking around and they had this there. Thought the price wasn't bad, didn't know a thing about it. And I came back and started researching it. So there's no website listing for it. It doesn't link you to a website. It just says on the back that it's imported by Maison Ferrand. And Maison Ferrand is a big brandy distiller in France, mostly cognac. So it is produced by a big company, but probably one of their budget brands. You know how that goes. All these big companies got their cheapos. I don't guess $17.99 is the cheapest, but it definitely ain't the most expensive. Okay, so the appearance here, copper also. So appearance-wise, not a lot. This one is a little darker. I poured a little bit too much. Let me even it out. Don't want to waste. Try not to waste the XO. All right, so St-Rémy is produced by Rémy Cointreau. Rémy Cointreau, you've heard of Cointreau. They do that orange liqueur. Let me see Total Wine and More real quick, just to see what they got it going for it. This, I've been having it for a few years now, so the price is not going to be applicable, but it'll be, it won't be that much. Well, I don't think so. Saint-Rémy. $16.99 for the VSOP, about the same as Walmart, maybe a little less actually. XO is $24.99. Yeah, maybe it's $1 more than I paid, $2 more. See, the price didn't really change. There's the signature, which is $33.99. I haven't had the signature, but I am kind of interested in trying it. All right, let's do the screen. Let's do the screen share. Here we go. Saint-Rémy, started by Rémy Martin, takes its rich and complex taste from the selection of rich French eau de vie, that's the juice, the grape juice, the wine, chosen for their aging potential and matured for a longer period, small French oak casks only. Perpetuating the legacy from our previous master blender, St-Rémy XO is the perfect brandy for moments of refinement and indulgence. Recognized for its elegance and ability to linger on in the palate, And I'm not going to read all that. You can read that as you see fit. It's won many gold medals. How to drink it? With your mouth. Oh, the rich and complex taste. Okay, it says ideal, neat on ice or in cocktails. Makes sense. There's some brandy barrels. There's some cocktails. I'm glad I got my phone silent. I see it's going off. I do not feel like dealing with this. Okay. Then their website goes into what is brandy, which is basically like whiskey made from grapes, just like whiskey is brandy made from grain. They've got information about brandy. Read that as you see fit. Saint-Rémy history. They've been making brandy since the 1880s. And you can read that at your leisure. And then they have their brandies. VSOP, which I can find at Walmart. The XO Total Wine. The Signature, which apparently I can find at Total Wine. The Grand Blend, never heard of it. And the Tomalatar. Oh, that's just a special bottle design so you can spend your money. No thanks. Every liquor company now got like famous rap stars or famous rock star painters. Get your special edition with the signature. Yeah, that's kind of funny bunny. But if you want to buy it, go ahead. I'm not paying 1 penny more. I'm not paying a penny to get a bottle that's has a signature of an actor or somebody like that on there. Even if it's the president of the United States, it means nothing to me. But it's nice. It, like I said it means nothing to me. But if you're into collecting and all that, that's fine. It's nothing. It's a neutral thing. It's not good or bad. It's just what you choose to do. It's not. It's more what we call morally neutral. It's morally neutral. All right. There's no right or wrong about buying. Like, okay, so you say, well, she was on Broadway. She's a famous Broadway actress. She won a Tony Award in 1999. Okay, well, that's morally neutral, assuming that the plays she did were okay, So if you want to buy it, buy it. All right. Now, I think I'm going to get this challenge done very quickly because one's going to taste like brandy and the other one's going to taste like chocolate. Smells like grape leaves and wine that's been distilled into a liquor. I'm not trying to be cheeky or smart aleck. That's what it smells like. All right. Smell over here. It does sort of smell like brandy and tea, cold tea, and a little bit of chocolate. Bizarre. All right, taste time. This camera gets out of focus sometimes. Tastes like extra old. Now, what is XO? Extra age, extra old is usually brandy that it's brandy that's usually aged 6 to 10 years. Now, where it falls in that range, I don't know. It's a generalized parameter. 6 to 10 years. So most likely this is a blend. Most brandies are blends. No single berries. No single berry brandy, no single grape brandy, but a blend of different ones that they pull from different barrels to try to get a taste that they're looking for. So now on this level, we're talking about thousands of barrels. Okay, we're not talking about 3 barrels. And probably on this case too, because Maison Ferrand ain't exactly a small company. So we're talking about 2 mass-produced products. But then they find the youngest one will be 6 years, the oldest will be 10, in that range. And then they'll blend them, say, okay, this is what we want. They'll bottle it, send it to Louisiana or Texas or Mexico or wherever they're sending it, Argentina. This has a very unusual flavor. It's not a bad flavor. It's unusual. Herbie says, sir, I don't know is a very big thing. Okay, Herbie, thank you. This tastes like a chocolate liqueur. I keep thinking maybe they put the wrong product in the bottle. Like they made a chocolate liqueur brandy and they screwed up and put it. Now we know these things happen because you hear about recalls all the time. Where they put the peanut brittle in the other packaging minute, but it's not marked peanuts, and they can't let people that have a horrible allergy to peanuts drink it or eat it. This one's standard grape, I think white grapes, grape skins, the golden, the golden raisins, grape skins, grape leaves, medium body, smooth, easygoing, more developed than the VSOP. Although I would say the VSOP is very nice. If you go to Walmart, get the VSOP, St-Rémy, very nice, no complaints. And Total Wine got it for less than $17. But the XO is a little more elevated. That's from the aging. Probably the same product, more or less, aged. Instead of 4 to 6 years, 6 to 10 years in French oak. So that makes a difference. Could they age it in ex-bourbon barrels? Yes, they could. They can age it in any barrels, as long as it's oak. Is there a St-Rémy VS, a very standard, very special, but really it means very standard, 2 to 4 year age? There could be, and there probably is, but it's probably only sold in France, for the local market. They probably don't bother sending something so cheap over here. Although, look at Ciroc. They send VS over here. 2 to 4 year age. And it ain't cheap either. It's like $30. $30. But you can buy this one for 24, 25, worst case 26. And you're going to buy this. You're going to buy this, right? You're going to buy this instead of the Ciroc VS. And I like Ciroc VS. It's a good product. It has a good flavor, good character. But it's a VS. It's only aged 2 to 4 years. This thing is 6 to 10. The Ciroc can't really compete. You say, but Ciroc used to be promoted by a rap star who's now going to prison. Yeah, so if that's meaningful to you, if a hip hop star endorses a product, Not opposed to the product, but it doesn't gain any traction for me. This is a really great product. I would highly recommend it. And I love XO brandy. I love any kind of brandy, but especially this, a winner. Now, I know it's the St-Rémy. I don't have to delay it. This is the St-Rémy. Got it. How do I know that? Well, I knew it's a good product, first of all. Secondly, this thing tastes like chocolate. Am I opposed to chocolate? No. I'm in no way opposed to chocolate. I like chocolate. I eat it not every day, but commonly chocolate cookies, chocolate bars, chocolate whatever, ice cream. I'm bewildered. Have I ever tasted a brandy that tasted like a chocolate liqueur? Answer: no. I have never tasted a brandy from France or the United States or Ukraine or Spain or Mexico or wherever that tasted like a chocolate liqueur. Okay. So I'll do the challenge. I'll go through it, do all the challenges, what the heck. But it's not going to be a challenge. There's no way I'm going to confuse this thing with any other brandy. That ain't happening. Now, based on its those flowers outside are getting in my lungs. They're getting in my lungs. Now, once I get up and go in another room, I'm not going to be doing this. But that pollen is amazing. Okay, based on this flavor, right? However, proper or improper, and I would say more improper, because I don't think brandy is supposed to taste like chocolate. But just based on what it is, maybe it's supposed to taste like this. I don't know how grapes could be made to taste like chocolate, but I'm not a scientist. Based on what it is, I would recommend it. I think it is a good flavor. It's bizarre. It's non-standard. It's unusual, strange, odd, eccentric, so forth. But I would recommend it. And I didn't know what to expect. When I bought it, I couldn't find any information on it. So some reviews, which were mostly positive, but there were some negative reviews and that kind of thing. But would it go well in like coffee and milk? I think it would go great in coffee and milk because of that chocolate flavor. I don't get that. I'm telling you, I'm starting to suspect. But I mean, it doesn't even look normal. It looks like a chocolate liqueur. Look how dark it is. Did they put? Oh, I shouldn't even say. Did they put a chocolate liqueur in the wrong bottle? I don't know, but it's strange. Oh, so very strange. But on the other hand, it is good. So it does have some brandy characteristic like the grape leaves, but it's bizarre. So I'll just run through this taste challenge series. I'm not going to belabor it. I'll just go through all the French brandies. I got a couple of ones left. Then I'll hit Spain, go over to Ukraine, come back to Mexico, then run through the U.S. Brands that I have, I have a few, and then or a couple at least. I think it's a few. Yeah, it's 3 or more, and then we'll close it out. And it ain't going to be a challenge. Then we'll move on to rum. Now I have an interesting rum. It's gold. It does taste like you would expect rum to taste. It doesn't taste like chocolate liqueur. All right. Is it low end? It is very low end. Not the lowest of the low end, but it's low. But it's common. A lot of people around the United States can get it, whether that's good or bad. It's Caribbean style, meaning it's made in Glenmore, meaning it's made at the Glenmore distillery in a bar. I said Bardstown. I was going to say Bardstown, not Bardstown. I can't think of that town. It's Owensboro, right? Owensboro, not Paducah, Owensboro. And yes, they do. Yes, they do make rum in Kentucky. Nothing says rum like Kentucky, right? Forget the Virgin Islands. Forget the Virgin. Kentucky's where it's at. I mean, I'm kidding, obviously. But I've been seeing it for years, so I figured I'll buy a bottle. What the heck? I've been seeing this doggone brand rum for years. It originally used to say from the Caribbean, but I knew they opened that distillery in Owensboro. So overnight, it went from Caribbean rum to Caribbean style rum. But it does appear to be very popular. So for the value price conscious buyers, if you want to use that word, sounds better than saying the cheapskates. But I mean, I understand some people have budgetary issues they have to deal with, and I can't really knock that. So and then we'll move on to tequila and mezcal, and then we'll be back to whiskey sometime later next year. All right, so the winner, well, of course, the clear and present winner is St-Rémy. Hard to beat, although I'm sure they have brandies that can beat it. But look at this label. You want a good brandy? Tastes like all brandy should taste. You're not even going to pay $30. If you pay $30, somebody got you. Somebody got you good. Don't pay $30. You can shop around. You're going to find it for a good price. And you're going to think it's a wonderful product. It is a wonderful product. All right, y'all take care now. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow for another Brandy Taste Challenge.